So I used to just always think how women are really lucky, and even how like gay guys are really lucky. And then every time good things would happen to me, I would be like, yeah, I'm so smart, I'm so skillful. So whenever things would go my way, I would think about all my like, yeah, you get it. But then I was just now thinking about how lucky I've often thought women are for some things being really easy, like just how incredibly adorable a lot of guys find it when girls do the minimum and just have self-confidence. Like I was just talking to this girl, a new friend, but like this gives me fear, but a near and dear friend. You know who you are. Who like practices such a fierce love for herself that it's like, I just thought, oh God, if you were a guy, you'd just be a fucking narcissist. You actually use those words. And then I thought, but a lot of what saves her from being a narcissist is not just how other people perceive it. It's like literally the fact that she's a girl and that she's decently well socialized. And you know what, this might not even be a gendered thing at all, but it might just be a slightly gendered thing, tendentially, in terms of statistical distributions of like who you're more likely to run into. So are there no girls with a narcissism problem? They've got great self-esteem, yeah, they just don't give a shit about anybody else kind of thing going on. There's plenty of women like that, of course, but I think there are a lot more guys. And that's not to say there's a patriarchy, that's just to say that there are different temperament distributions in the human genome for men and women. But yeah, I just kind of thought like, how I had a little moment, you know, and I thought, oh God, we let women get away with bloody fucking murder. I mean, a woman believes in herself and we just think it's so goddamn cute. But that kind of says a lot, actually. That does underscore a little bit of patriarchy theory. Like there's definitely not nothing to it. There really isn't. In fact, I've been thinking for about 6 months now, ever since I woke up from feminism, that in truth, feminist analyses, especially the most solid classical feminist analyses, are almost entirely correct in their descriptions of a situation and simply almost entirely incorrect in their assessment of that situation's cause. They've basically been blaming the world of maleness for what is in fact a product of civilization itself. And that is where the feminist critique of even men's experience comes in, because there's long been a recognition that men suffer under the quote-unquote patriarchy too, which is true. It's just misnamed. It's men and women suffering slightly differently under something that is much better described as civilization. And then you take all of the feminism, I don't have time here, just run through it, even just quickly in your head, run through the little elements of feminism and recognize that A, mostly men suffer from it too, have aversion, and B, while it might be to some degree orchestrated by mostly white men at the top, it is certainly not B sub A, orchestrated by the vast majority of men, and B sub B, done in favor of the vast majority of men's prosperity. Now, having said all of that bullshit, I'm sorry. No, I really am. I'm sorry. Having said all of that, my main point was just recognizing how lucky I am, too. That there are all kinds of things, like being a little bit femme like this, that are so easy for men to do, but so rare that they work like a charm. And so while it is super easy for some girls to be super cute by just doing, yeah, still talking to you, by just doing one or two little things that are simply rare and most girls just don't do for whatever reasons. Again, having to do with civilization mostly, like watch the Jean Lidloff YouTube. Like Google the continuum concept, Jean Lidloff, order that book and read it, or if you don't have time, watch her YouTube video, her one YouTube video. Like it explains literally why you suffer. It's crazy to say, it sounds like religion to say that. It sounds like I'm trying to introduce you to Buddhism or some other ism, but it's not. Somehow it's not. Why we suffer from self-esteem issues, specifically. Maybe just click straight to minute 10 of the hour to skip right to that part. But anyway, so there's just a ton of really lucky, easy things that guys can do too that are incredibly rare. David D'Angelo talks about them and teaches them. I mean, you know, that whole world is not exactly full of perfect, great stuff, but some of it's pretty good, like the inner game stuff. So yeah, you know, it's actually more balanced than I thought. It's not really that things can be so easy for women or that things can be so easy for men. And I think the vast majority of women, even feminist women, know it in their heart of hearts. That if you ask them, do you envy the male experience? They'd say no. If anything, I think most real feminists would say they kind of pity men a little bit. Which really begs the bigger question, you know? Like, what kind of a patriarchy is this? If patriarchy were an employee, it would be fired. If the vast majority of women would not choose to be men. Maybe third world women, that can be a different story. Though I would argue that actually I would not personally choose to be a Middle Eastern woman or man in either one instead of the other. It would be a really tough choice if you gave me the choice. I would probably just choose man because I'm already used to it. But because I honestly don't think that any of us could live in the other gender's skin for very long. You would have to change someone as a child. I think most adults would pretty quickly lose their shit if they woke up as the other gender tomorrow. Most adults who don't already wake up as the other gender every other day. Which luckily, to the extent that I do it very internally, and it has almost nothing to do with my body. I have no dysphoria at all. I have more of a character dysphoria where I feel like I haven't been allowed to play all of the roles I want to play. And some of it's little boy, and some of it's adult woman, and yeah. So anyway, I just thought I'd share that. Us guys are pretty lucky too. There's a lot of really easy things you can do that will make your relationships so much better, and will make talking to women instantaneously more easy and gratifying. And it's literally just finding your inner woman who's older than her and a little bit more mature and knows how to take a little care and make her feel safe. So yeah, there's little cheats and hacks for us too. Yeah, love you.